program is brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?
It is almost that time of the year again when the infamous Black Friday sale hits stores billed for 26 November. Well, at least as expected to. For a few years in Botswana until last year, merchants had been faithful in offering their customers the opportunity to buy items such as electrical appliances, food, clothing and many others at discounted prices, where a bargain buy can be as low as 50% off the original price. These sales attract thousands of consumers at a time, which sometimes leads to fighting for items, even vandalizing the store. Is the same going to happen this year? That remains to be seen, but since the pandemic has progressed to have much deadlier variants, decongesting facilities has been quite the theme for a lot of organizations and establishments in efforts to slow down the spread of the virus. While understanding the importance of driving sales and clearing out old stock to make room for new items, should we have the same hype as with past years? Should we have the same conventional Black Friday sale this year? Our guest from the consumer watchdog, Kate Harriman, had quite some interesting thoughts on the matter. Kate, thank you so much for affording us your time and being here with us on First Issues. As ever, it's a pleasure. Today we're talking about the infamous Black Friday sale, and we were wondering if, from your perspective, you think that the conventional way of having the Black Friday sale will work this year, especially looking at the current state of the pandemic.
The simple answer to that is no, absolutely not. Given the current pandemic, I think it would be totally irresponsible of any supplier to encourage customers to come to their store en masse during a very confined space of time. The Black Friday sale typically takes place over a couple of days, and obviously consumers normally go en masse on the first day of the sale to get first choice of bargains. It would be irresponsible, and I think that stores have a responsibility to help protect consumers and to help protect the health of our nation.
While these sales ultimately drive the sales for the merchants, they also, give people the opportunity to buy necessary items at a bargain. So how do you think that delicate balance could be struck again this year, especially now when people are looking for that feel-good something?
Well, we all love a feel-good something and something that we think is a bargain. And goodness knows, as consumers, we all deserve it this year especially, particularly as money is now very tight for a lot of households. I think the solution is that suppliers need to innovate. They need to look at new ways of doing business, and they need to look at ways of offering Black Friday specials, but do it in a way that protects consumers. And the most obvious way to do that is for home deliveries and using technology to enable consumers to purchase without actually having to come to a store. And I think one of the points that I'd like to make is that while some stores in Botswana have come to the party, and over the last year, they've got their act together and they're now offering online shopping services, and they're offering home delivery or click and collect, so you don't actually have to go in the store. There are a lot of chains, particularly South African chains who are in Botswana, who have services enabling customers to buy remotely in South Africa, but they don't afford us as consumers in Botswana the same privilege. And that makes me really cross, because they've obviously got the technology. If you look at some of the big brands, they're offering home delivery services. Why can't we have the same thing here? Now, I think as consumers, one of the issues then comes into play, which is the delivery charge. And obviously for a lot of consumers, adding a delivery charge to the cost of your groceries and your essentials is prohibitive. But there are other ways that stores can look to help consumers. So they could look at cooperative or community initiatives. For example, consumers could come together and buy en masse and have groceries or goods delivered to their church, so they could take them home after a church service. But I think, as consumers, we've been asked to make a lot of sacrifices. We've been asked not to travel. We've been asked to help keep our families and our loved ones safe. And I think that stores have an obligation to help keep us safe too, as well as their staff. So they need to innovate and look at new ways of using technology. We have technology. It is perfectly possible to have a different way of doing business. But I think stores have been lazy, and they need to get their act together, and they need to offer the same privileges that they offer consumers in South Africa to consumers in Botswana. We're not second-class consumers.
Well, Kate, I mean, I've just been saying now that the Black Friday sale is ultimately to drive sales. So I can't help but wonder, are these sales all that they're cracked up to be, or is it a way that stores use to, use people to clear out old stock without necessarily having the sale that they have? Is it a real sale, perhaps, is what I'm trying to ask?
Oh, what a cynic you are. Is it a ploy? Of course it's a ploy. Stores want to clear their shelves ready for Christmas stock to come in, which is why Black Friday has traditionally been held late October, early November. It's ready to encourage us to spend even more money over Christmas. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to offer consumers a bargain. There are some products where it is a genuine bargain. But I think the other thing to bear in mind is that some of the items that you might buy, for example, technology, is going to obviously be out-of-date technology. So they're clearing the shelves for the newer model of laptop or the newer model of fridge to come in. But it doesn't mean that that's not the right product for you, but it's about doing your research first and finding out, is it really in the long term going to be the bargain you think it was? But having said that, if you couldn't afford it before the discount, obviously when a store offers a discount, it enables people to get on the consumer ladder, if you like, and buy something that they wouldn't otherwise been able to afford. I think the other point, just on the sale, is that for a lot of items, consumers need to be aware that even if you would normally be able to take something back and exchange it, so some stores, for example, clothing stores, will have a policy that if you buy something and you find it doesn't fit, you can take it back and exchange it for another item. Those rules don't generally apply during a sale. So when you buy something, you're stuck with it if you've bought the wrong item. So I think that's another issue to consider, particularly if you are buying online and you're having goods delivered like shoes or clothes. You need to make sure that you've bought the right size, or you're going to really like it because you won't be able to send it back or take it back. In which case it's not a bargain because you wasted your money.